What is up? My name is Matt. Welcome back to Gone Digging. And if you're watching this episode, it's because you're about to go on an organized relic hunt. I'm about to go on an organized relic hunt, and I'm going to share with you in this episode what I bring when I go. So stick around. So what I wanted to do is kind of explain a few things about organized relic hunting before I talk about what I bring to an organized event. First, when I first started going to organized relic hunts, especially like digging in Virginia, I always had these visions of just walking out onto a field and finds being so abundant that everybody was just picking up everything everywhere. And to be honest, that's not how it works. I think when we first start, we're a little naive as to what our expectations are and where we think what we're going to find and how we're going to find it. Very quickly, I realized that organized metal detecting events aren't about the finds. To me, the finds have always been a bonus. The friends and the experience always have come first. The first day of the first DIV, I learned that, and I've kept that with me the entire time I've ever gone to an organized relic hunt. Over the years, new events have sprung up, whether it's Just Go Detecting, which is a great event, or Pound the Ground, which is new, and I'm really excited to go to. But of all of those events, the new friends, the experience, and then the finds, if you keep that attitude, you will always have a great time at one of these events. Alright, so let's get right into it. Let's start with the machines. So I understand that a lot of people travel, and there's not always the easiest of way to take multiple machines to a hunt. Now, depending on the hunt I go to, whether it's hot ground or I'm looking for something super deep, I may take my GPX 4500. If I'm looking for something in the water, or I don't know what the ground conditions are, I may take the CTX 3030 or the XP Deus. Now, what I will tell you is, if you can and you are traveling, invest your money in a hard case. Hard case can be like this one right here by XP Deus, can be locked and can be checked in your checked bag. Pretty easy to do, and not a big deal. The XP Deus is also small enough to get into your carry-on luggage if you choose to do it that way. With all of these machines, whether you take multiple machines or not, what I would encourage you to do is take multiple coils. You'll see I have the 17-inch CTX head here, or the 6-inch head. That provides two things. One, different target separation for different ground conditions, but if you have a coil failure, it means you can continue to hunt depending on what happens, what vendors are at these events, or whatever else is going on, even if there's a local shop you can't get to. So it means you can keep going and still have an enjoyable event. Unfortunately, coil failures do happen, more so with the GPX than some of these other machines, but who's to say that you forget to charge your batteries on your Deus or whatever the case is. So consider that. So across my pile of heartbreakers from the summertime, what you'll see is I have multiple pinpointers. I have the ProFind and I have the Garrett AT Pro Pointer. I carry multiple pinpointers to organized hunts simply because of ground conditions. The same reason I would carry multiple metal detectors to an organized hunt. What I do with a lot of my gear is I take and I identify it in some way, shape, or form. Just in case I am to lose it while out in the field, I want to be able for someone else to find it, identify it, know it's mine, and get it back to me. Very simply, all I will do for a lot of my pinpointers, I will just put my name and phone number on the inside of a piece of paper and then put it right underneath the battery cap right here. It doesn't have to be on the outside, so that way it's not going to get worn off. I don't have to put any tape or striping in there. And now my name and phone number and contact information is right inside my pinpointer. This works for all brands of pinpointers that I know of. It should work for yours, whether you have a ProFind or you have an AT Pro Pointer. But it's a very simple, easy way to get your pinpointer back if you were to lose it. So one last thing I really wanted to talk about, and that's kind of just a kind of courtesy thing. I always encourage folks to go out and meet new folks when they're out in the field. But if you are out in the field and you are hunting along and you have your machine on, sometimes walking up to somebody with your machine on will interfere with theirs. They'll get a lot of feedback in their headsets, and sometimes somebody who's having a rough morning at a organized relic hunt may have a little more, I guess, maybe a little edgier, kind of not make things easier. So if you do go up to meet somebody or say hello, I encourage you to set your machine down or turn it off before you walk up and approach them. This way it allows you to introduce yourself, say hi, and really have a more friendly experience without getting all that interference and feedback to that person. And likewise, if you are out hunting around, I encourage you, I know there's a lot of different people out in these spaces depending on how large or small your event is, but to give each person a space, especially with the GPX, they can only handle being so close to each other before someone has to noise cancel or it has to be adjusted. So just remember that, and go out and say hi to each other in the field. Okay, so just a couple other things I wanted to talk about is clothing of what I bring. And what I can do is I can include some links in the description. My favorite clothing to wear, aside from just kind of stuff that I know I'm going to wreck, like pants and shirts and stuff like that, is these frog togs. These are a waterproof clothing line, and they're super inexpensive. I think you can get a set of frog togs off Amazon for 40 bucks. With them being so inexpensive, that means, one, they're great, that you don't have to worry about destroying something really expensive, like say these North Face ones that I bought a long time ago, or these Helly Hansen ones, which are fantastic rain pants, but again, expensive. Frog togs make a great product, pants and the jacket. It's awesome. They will also work really well for cold days that are windy, even though you may just need an extra layer. As far as what I carry for my finds, I always carry this lovely blue North Face backpack. I've carried it thousands of miles in national parks and hundreds, if not thousands of miles in organized relic hunts. It allows me to keep my pinpointers up high away from my coils. Same thing with my digging shovel. And it allows me to plenty of room for my rain gear to fit inside, extra bottles of water, extra food, everything I may need like that. Something that a lot of people don't think about bringing is a tarp. I personally try to take a 8x10 or 5x8 size tarp on a lot of the organized hunts. It works well if you get caught out in a rainstorm. You have something, if you're around the woods, you can pop up, put all your gear underneath. It's not going to get soaking wet, especially if you have a machine like the GPX that's not waterproof. It'll give you some time to put a rain cover on it and things like that. The other thing this works really well for is if you find a pit and you're digging it, you put all your dirt on top of that, and it makes filling the pit in much, much easier. It is incredible. So, and I'm jumping around a little bit because I have all my stuff out of order, but the other thing that I will tell everyone to take is these muck boots. These are the finest footwear for metal detecting you could ever get. They're good for briars and low thorny things. They always keep your feet dry. I get a new pair about every 2 years, and for the last 2.5, 3 years, I pretty much have dug every day in the fall and the winter time. Obviously that's changed with my life now, but they are a great product. And you can see that one's got a little bit of a cut from shovels there, but overall it's still a really solid boot and it's still waterproof. So there you go. So that's a great segue into shovels. I use a couple different shovels when I'm out metal detecting at different organized events. Honestly, if I'm traveling, this is my favorite one. I can run to a Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up a 10 or $10 or $15 shovel like this. I don't have to worry about carrying it. I don't have to worry about anything else associated with this shovel. And when I'm done, I can give it to a friend that I met on the hunt who's driving and traveling. And guess what? They get a new shovel that they can appreciate. 14 bucks. I got a friend. I got a shovel, which is pretty cool. This is my other favorite shovel to dig with. I think this is the Lowe's version. It's again 14, 15 bucks. Very sturdy, very durable. And I like this for being in a pit, a little bit more longer reach, and a lot super lightweight. You will see a lot of folks go out and purchase the George Lesh Predator Tools shovels. Great shovels, a little bit heavier. But if you are hunting with a GPX or a pulse machine, they are going to be picked up by the coils a lot easier. So I prefer these kind of shovels for that. As always, there's pretty much only one hand shovel to dig with, and that is the George Lesh hand shovel. It is fantastic. This one's pretty worn down, and I have multiple of these that I use all the time. So this last piece is a little bit of an extra. Specifically going to hunts that have pits, I do like to bring a broad rake or a landscaping rake of some sort to help fill it in. It makes the work go a lot faster, and it makes it clean up like I wasn't even there, especially digging a large hole like that. Even though you may be on an organized relic hunt, the code of ethics still applies. When you dig a hole, try to make it as close to when you got there as when you leave. It doesn't take but a few seconds to fill in a hole. It doesn't take but an extra couple minutes to rake one flat, especially if you dug a large pit. So try to make it like you were never there. And this rake sometimes will help with that. So overall, I hope this helped. I hope this helped a few other considerations for when you pack to go to digging in Virginia, Just Go Detecting, JGD, the South Carolina hunts that I can't remember his name puts on. But anyway, if you go to any of those other hunts, just a few considerations. Now there's a lot of things I left out, like lanyards and what to pack in your hotel, or how to take care of that stuff. But just for equipment I'm going to use out in the field, this video is just going to kind of go over that. If you have something that you take to organized relic hunts and that I missed, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know how you travel to these events, and what your advice to someone who's never been would be. So drop that down in the comments. If you like this video, if this helped, please reach up there and click that like button. And if you'd like to see more of this kind of content, remember to subscribe. We do this kind of stuff, tutorials, reviews, and of course field digs, water hunts, and even scuba diving. So my name's Matt, this is Gone Digging. I hope to see you out at Pound the Ground, Just Go Detecting, or digging in Virginia sometime in the future. We'll see you soon.